It's game week, front butts. That's what we're calling y'all now because you have to be a glutton to be listening to this. That, and because there's Little Caesars at the stadium this season. Anyway, you're listening to Can't Read, Can't Write. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Can't Read, Can't Write, the podcast that proves Spartans can talk. I'm Mike Jones, joined as always by the guy who sabotages the outline. Oh, this is from last week. Indeed, did sabotage the outline. Oh, and not by the week. Guy.
Oh, we are joined by the host that sabotages the cold open and the introductions.
And who felt like he did the intro at 1.5 speed. It was too fast. Too fast.
It's okay. We're off to a really great start. Listen, we're just so excited about football season. And there have been some accusations thrown around that Michael did some work in the outline that I promptly removed and then replaced with some of my own work. But I'm through the version history here on the old Google Doc, and I'm not seeing any of the things that you claim to have added. So maybe Google's just lying to me, Michael. Ever think about that?
I do respect the version history. Did we discuss my version history story at work?
No, but do tell about your version history story.
I had to get into a version history to someone gave me some work, and I was like, one bullshitter smells something here.
I love when someone hits me with the "you can't bullshit a bullshitter" thing, because it's like you're so telling on yourself. Like, you shouldn't trust me, and that's how I know that I can't trust you. And it's like, what? Excuse me. Do tell though.
This is a safe space.
What happened in this case?
I don't want to say too much for fear I'm going to actually have to cut it. But
we don't have to worry about what we say about our jobs here on this podcast. Plum has established that multiple times.
An assignment was given out, and I had to make an assessment of the assignment. I'm like, hey, friend, I need to make an assessment. Can you pass that along to me?
Yeah.
And I got it. This is from an intern I was managing. And
so we're going hard. We're sharing intern stories now, Jonesy.
Well, I got it, and I was like, this is a little disappointing. And then I checked the version history, and it was created 12 minutes before I received it.
My experience. Sometimes I'll ask people for like notes on an account or a project or something like that, and they'll be like, yeah, I got some notes, give me just 1 sec. And they'll throw something over to me in a Google Doc, and I'll read it, and I'll think to myself, I don't think that much time or attention has gone into this. And
I guess
the version history always tells the tale.
And I guess the point being that as someone who's not paid time or attention to things in the past, and maybe has submitted a last-minute assignment a time or two in life,
last minute might be generous in some of those cases.
After the fact,
a year late assignment sometimes at times.
Who's to say? But yeah, the ChatGPT version history told all. But we're going to resolve this after the podcast because no one cares. And if you prefer us to get out of the intros faster than we currently do, the best thing you can do is leave us a 5-star rating on your podcast player or YouTube. Please share the pod with Spartans Your Life. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Spartans_pod or on Blue Sky at SpartanPod. Greg, what are we doing this week?
It's game week. Jensen dolls. Do we say that? Do we say that anymore? I don't know.
I think broads is what people prefer.
That's right. Chicks. Jensen chicks. So Western Michigan is coming to town on Friday night. So we'll preview that game. But there are more goings-ons over there at Spartan Stadium. In fact, I took the dog on a little walk, and they got some tidying up to do over on the grounds at Spartan Stadium before people show up later this week. So we'll go into that in greater detail. I don't know if there's anything else really worth covering in the wider world of MSU sports, so we might take a trip off Grand River, but otherwise we'll finish up with your social media questions as always.
I think we got Grind Week coming up next week, which maybe, or no, it'll be the week after, which might be worth mentioning just because of the number of visitors that are going to be on campus. But
Grind Week.
All right, let's start with football, the sport that always leads.
How does one try to even preview a MAC team at this point? Because they all get just ravaged in the off season, unfortunately.
Much like you will be ravaging some Little Caesars pizza at Spartan Stadium.
Look at you! Look at you!
That's a tease, is what we call it in the biz. I don't, I don't know. I think this is really tough. We do know, I believe their quarterback is coming back. I believe is a redshirt sophomore.
That sounds right. Yes.
And so
Lowry.
I think they were decent running the ball last year. Nationally, they were 37th out of 134 and tied for 29th nationally in rushing touchdowns. But you would think their offense would be better. It clocked in at 85th, which I actually think we might have been envious of if we could have clocked 85th last year. So let us not cast stones. But their passing attack left a lot to be desired. Yards per game averaging 109, again, out of 134 in the country. So I think they're probably looking for a bump out of their quarterback, a growth year out of their quarterback, in the same way that we're looking for a growth year out of our quarterback. But they did lose a lot of production from their team, and so it'll be interesting to I think there's just not much you can say about Western Michigan that we'd be lying to people if we said we had any confidence about it.
It is kind of interesting. They've got multiple Michigan in transfers. Cole Cabana's over there now. You might remember him from recruiting stories back in the day. Raheem Anderson is over there now as well. Is there anyone else? So it's an interesting little story. Mike Davis also. I'm just looking through their list of transfers. So yeah, a lot of Michigan to Kalamazoo pipeline action going on. So we'll be happy to hand them a loss to begin their season and their career at Western.
It is interesting looking at their transfers that there's a decent mix of transfers down with transfers up. And so look, I think we've done the didn't shake out somewhere. Let's remember Cole Cabana couldn't outdo Donovan Edwards. And so
excuse me, you're talking about NCAA football cover athlete Donovan Edwards here.
Is Bryce Underwood on the cover of this year's?
I think he's in the group. He's sitting in the back. Yes.
Lulz. Anyway, I think we should obviously be willing and prepared to put respect on Western's name, right? That they had decent numbers last year, despite
in the running game. Yes, that's true.
And defensively, they were not great, particularly against the run.
They were down with us for sacks and tackles for loss in national rankings. So
and in terms of rushing yards allowed per game, 112, rushing TTs 116. So obviously they expect to have bolstered some things. A number of their transfers are on the front seven, but this will be I think we said it last week or the week before. The only thing that winning should be taken for granted in this game. If we don't win this game, we have problems.
Yeah.
And so the things that I genuinely care about are, can you get short yardage? Can you convert in the red zone? Those are the things that matter to me about what does it say about this team? What can we say looking forward? I mean, I guess if you put up a bajillion yards on the ground, that might also tell us a little bit something, because I think we've got some question marks around the running backs, but and obviously the offensive line. But is there anything in particular from this game that you're looking at as, what can I actually learn from this game?
Just, can we impose our will? Can we actually drive the game and do what we want to do? That's all I want to see out of this game.
And the good news is, if the wide receivers are as good as we hope them to be, we should get a head start, and that means we're going to get plenty of running happening at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So there will be plenty of opportunity to see offensive line play and our running backs in action. Yep. What else, Greg? Anything else from this game that you're going to be eyeballing?
From the game itself? Well, they keep their kickers, their punter and their kicker, I believe.
I meant our kicker.
I'm always keeping an eye on our special teams as well. We need it. So definitely, we'll see how that progresses. I'll be paying, I think, more attention to the new concessions that are happening over there at the Spartan Stadium. Devotees will recall that MSU is now third-partying out its concessions at Spartan Stadium. So
no more fundraisers,
I guess. Yeah, gone are the days of the nachos and the cheese. And now
the walking tacos were great.
The walking tacos were good,
and I liked the hot dogs. I'm not like,
yeah, and go pop a dog, pretty good. It was like a $4 dog or something like that. It wasn't that bad for a live, like an in-stadium concession.
I think we were going to say a live dog.
A live dog, just in the back. Anyway, that was a minefield we found ourselves in. Anyway, but now third-partied out, and that means national brands are coming to town. And we know, thanks to internet reporting, and we should give credit where it's due, from Mr. Aiden Champion, there's signage up for Auntie Annie's pretzels and, most importantly, Little Caesars. So I'm going to be hot and ready on the concourse at Spartan Stadium Friday night. You had better believe it.
How much do you think a slice is going to cost?
Getting the whole pie, getting the whole thing.
And will you demand that it's $6?
I don't do Little Caesars by the slice. Let's be honest. Let's be completely clear about this.
Yeah,
Little Caesars comes in a complete pie, and that's the only way that it's done. Thank you very much.
Personal pan, though. I assume that's what they're going to be.
You
serving.
could do that. You could do that. You could do the build your own, the school fundraiser type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm going to be getting a full, what is probably going to be like what is a full hot and ready at Comerica Park? Probably like $20.
It's insane that you could go outside the stadium and it would be a different price.
Right across the street at their world headquarters, in fact.
Yeah.
You can get a super slice. We're not doing that at Comerica.
Great content.
I'm getting the list of everything you can have at Comerica, but I'm not getting the prices. So this isn't helpful.
Oh, you should be looking at LCA. It's really where you should be looking, not at Comerica.
I mean, okay. Whatever it is, it's fine.
Either way, man on the street, you'll have to let us know what else is available next week. They did have their Meet the Spartans Day, which I believe is where the picture came from. And it sounds like well attended by all accounts. I believe clocked in the thousands.
Very good.
Yeah.
When I walked by the stadium today, though, so this would have been Sunday for all of you listening over the course of the week.
So we're playing in how many days? Count it down.
That would be 5 days from recording.
The asbestos is still in the air.
There were multiple dumpsters out in front of the stadium because they're totally renovating the suites and all of that area. And yeah, just very obvious that there's a lot of activity going on at the stadium to get ready for the season, and they got to sort of like pull it all together here at the end. So good luck to everyone working overtime over at Spartan Stadium this week to get it ready for prime time.
What was that show? Dream Home Makeover, whatever.
Yeah, on HGTV.
Yeah, but like, there were like, they always had the timeline that they had to get it done by.
Oh yeah, the clock ticking all the time. Got to get the demo done.
There's a legal reason for that, but yes, and so it sounds like they're in the home stretches here.
Listen, I'm so glad that HGTV has nothing to do with Spartan Stadium, because the first thing they would do is take out all the troughs, and that would be an atrocity. Like, imagine if they removed the troughs and put in subway tile. Just the biggest downgrade in the history of renovations.
You could keep the trough and put the subway tile in.
No, I prefer the concrete with the like the moon's surface kind of like pockmarked look about it.
Porous surfaces are notoriously great for urine. So, yep.
I like to know that a little genetic material stays with the stadium long after you leave. It's like a little piece of me is there. Always.
So let's talk about position groups, Kevin. I'm curious what position group you think will be strongest this year and what one will be weakest.
For us?
Yeah.
For our team?
Yeah.
I don't know. Weakest, I'm worried it's going to be the O-line. That's the thing that I'm most concerned about.
Okay.
And then also the defensive secondary. I'm much more worried about weak than I am focused on strong, because I'm a cynic. What about you?
I mean, I think you've picked two places where there's a lot of PTSD built up.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got Chance Rutger and Big 12 transfer Josh Eaton at cornerback that people feel pretty confident about in the secondary.
Are you talk burping over there?
I am.
Take a moment, okay?
Yeah. And the offensive line, I think we're in a decent spot. For me, it is either rush end or running back as the weakest position on
running back, because we have truly no idea what kind of product is going to be put on the field this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember, like, there wasn't a ton of hype for Le'Veon Bell coming into his second year, right? Like,
oh yeah, there was. Absolutely, there was. Yeah.
All right.
Coming into his second year? Yeah, he had really established himself as a freshman.
All right.
There was massive hype coming in for a second year.
All right. Well, I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. So yeah, running back then and defensive end would be the places that or rush end more in particular, that I'd be most concerned about on this team. Strengths, I think it's easily wide receiver. I think sneaky 1B is probably our D tackles, where there are like 6 dudes who have produced at this level and have been pretty good. So,
what about the tight end room?
Well, Jack is back, and I think that's what you need to know. I do believe Nikai Martinez safety, they trotted out for the BTN special just to be like, he might play. He's like in a crutch doing his drills, but
just hobbled up and down the field.
Yeah. Mansunas was good in the 3 games I think he played last year before he had a season-ending injury. We know Parachek was beat up a lot of last year, but played because
we just want to see him healthy.
No one else to play.
And his dad just wants to see me balance an equation for the first time. Yeah,
just red in the face.
Good, really good jokes. Only Jason Fry gets that joke.
Anyway, I also think tight ends are both a position that is obviously incredibly important, and a lot doesn't work without them. But in terms of offensive production, like, individual counting stats, I think that's a position group that's really reliant on having an effective run game and effective wide receivers, which we just didn't have last year. So what production do I expect out of them? I expect them to be a lot better blocking this year than they were last year. If our wide receivers are good, then I would expect a better year out of Felling and Mansunas and Parachek. But if we can't run the ball, man, nothing matters.
Shut down the podcast. We're done. How many yards, at what threshold do we just give up recording for the rest of the year and just mothball this whole thing? Is it 20 yards rushing? Is it 30 yards rushing?
Oh, against Western?
Yes.
Ooh, all right. A bit of a wrinkle question that I don't actually think matters, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Yeah. Are we including sack yardage?
Yes, we are.
Okay. I think 50, and I might really be like, guys, do we want to do this?
Guys, are we committing our lives to this at this point?
Do we just want to call it until basketball tips off, or become a basketball only podcast?
Yeah. Pivot. Yeah, I think that's fair.
We could just do off Grand River only from here on out.
We have one more episode where we just rage and then put it on ice until
Truly Scotch Part 2.
Yep. I think we're up to Scotch Part 3 at this point. Collectors will know that there have been 2 Scotch episodes.
Yeah. What would it take for us to say we're doing a third? So actually, this will segue into my next question. Wanted to talk about, like, we're going to, looking a little past Western here, but we're going to get a handful of games, let's call it through Nebraska. I think we're at week 5 then.
You're calling these instant wins, guaranteed wins. Is what you're saying.
No, I'm just saying.
That's what you're saying. You were saying that you're saying guaranteed wins through week 5. That's what I heard. Yes.
That is definitely, I want to be very clear, not what I'm saying. What would need to happen for you over the first part of the season to just maybe believe this team might have something to flirt with a playoff, versus what would you need to see to say, I'm worried about hitting the over?
All right. So,
and for those who don't know, the over is 5.5 wins.
So to be flirting with the playoff, I think we've got to
aspire to like, you as a fan are hoping, maybe, possibly.
Sure. You got to take the 3 that you can take. So that's Western Boston College and Youngstown. And then you got to split the 2 roads. So USC and Nebraska. And then I think that happens. Maybe there's the potential for a playoff berth. If you drop any of the 3 that we got to win.
Yeah.
Now I'm worried about hitting the over.
And I think even in splitting one of those 2 on the road, you're saying that the one of those losses is maybe a bit of a kick in the dick, right? Like
Swift.
Yeah.
Swift. Listen, it's going to be hard to go win at USC. I know that we don't respect them. It's going to be hard to win in
Nebraska.
Yeah. Well, we'll just hold on to that. But like, you're going all the way to LA, and USC has a lot of talent right now. So it's going to be hard to win that game. And then Nebraska, how many games have we won there since they've joined the conference?
I don't know.
1,
maybe
2.
And it's Matt Rule in year 3, which is when he's turned around, I think, all of his programs.
Yeah. But if you want to be flirting with the playoff, you got to win one of those 2.
Yeah.
And you got to take care of business on the games that you're supposed to win. That was the beauty of the D'Antonio years. He took care of business in the games that he was supposed to win, and then he went and got a couple more in addition to that. And that's all I want from Jonathan Smith. So I'll see it, bub.
I'll raise you one, though, on this, which is to say that I think for for me to even be believing that that's possible, the running attack does if we win all 5 of those and the running attack isn't existing, then that means in my mind that the passing attack is just that good.
Sure.
But I just don't see that happening. And
yeah,
so
I'm
for
not
me,
concerned about that happening either.
So for me, it's the to aspire being 4-1 5 games in for a playoff being able to happen. That running attack has to look consistent and good. And I don't so much care about the sack number, but like there's got to be pressure on the quarterback. There just has to be.
Yep.
Let's talk the other way, which is you're worried about hitting the over, because I think you can go 3-2, winning all 3 of those games that you were saying you have to win, and still be deeply concerned about hitting the over.
Sure. But that means that you got absolutely blown out in both the USC and Nebraska games. If you're competitive in one or both of those, then you start feeling way better about at Minnesota. You start feeling way better about maybe an at Iowa situation.
Sure.
And at Indiana, who I think is due for a regression to the mean, even though it looks like they're, once again, they've got a pretty advantageous schedule for this year. So I'm just looking at these first 3 weeks. We're just looking to win these games, get them under the belt. We go from there.
Yeah.
The real season starts.
And else football related, you want to chat about before kickoff comes?
No, let's go do that football.
Okay. Well, look, if you're coming up for the game, we cannot recommend enough going to Mama's Mercantile and Eatery. It's off of I-94 on the Clear Lake Road exit. Whether you're dining in, ordering online, experience great food, drinks, and atmosphere at Mama's. Visit mamasmerc.com for menus, online ordering, and more. And in fact, as will be mentioned later on, one listener just stopped in and gave a shout out on the socials. So check it out. It was
I happen to
recommended.
know for a fact that Can't Read, Can't Write discount was used multiple times in the last week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, as in more than once. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Gathered. 10-4, good buddy. All right. Should we do the social media questions?
Let's do it.
Oh, I think we actually got an ask to mention this when we do previews going forward. For those who don't know, the game is going to be at 7 p.m. on FS1, and I believe, if I'm reading the website right, it's a Stripe the Stadium game, which I feel like the socials should be saying more of.
If you want a striping Friday night, do make that more obvious, please.
Yeah, even sections wear green, odd and student sections wear white.
Very good.
But that is what our website says.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do these socials.
Let's do it.
First up, listener Mike Jones, who we really need to get back to his alcohol.
This would have been a good week, but then we were abandoned by a certain individual.
He had to go blow up a bathroom, so it's fine.
Yeah, Pom bomb.
It's like a thong bomb, but different.
I'll give this one to you. From listener Mike Jones to host Mike Jones, who's still having a chortle at his own joke over there. Give me a bold prediction about this season.
Ooh. My bold prediction is that Omari Kelly will have more receiving yards than Nick Marsh, but it'll be close.
Okay. My bold prediction is we're going to have at least 2 rivalry trophies over there at the Scandalairs building by the time the season concludes.
Forks down.
Next up from the CV Bagel, not a question.
We could have a third next year.
Yeah. Notre Dame's coming back in. Megaphone's back on the table.
We could have 4 this season, or 3 this season.
There is the picture that D'Antonio has of all of them at the same time. I believe he lost one of them like the following week after that picture was taken, but he had all of them at a certain time.
And he was like, I said pride comes before the fall, and, and burned that picture immediately.
CV Bagel, not a question, a task. Each of you should record a quick 30-second message to yourselves for the end of the season. Your hopes and dreams, the prayers you whisper in the dark, a hi future plum. How are things? We'll revisit after the Pinstripe Bowl. Oh, mean. CV Bagel.
Yeah, because
putting a name on it.
My hopes and dreams are it's the same dance we do every year, but I genuinely believe that this team might be better than the Pinstripe Bowl. And so but I will say that you should do a wellness check if we do not make a bowl this year.
Yep. All right. I'm going to do CV Bagel for you. I'm going to do this literally. Grooch. It's been another year of injuries, huh, bud? Okay. All right. Hey, listen, it's not you. It's just the football gods. I know it seems dire right now. I know it seems awful. But just because there are injuries on the football team does not mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you've disappointed your father, although that might have happened separately. And it doesn't mean that you have to give up on this team. Hope springs eternal. There will always be another year. And someday we will have a complete O-line at the end of the season in the same way that we had it at the beginning. God bless, Grooch, and Godspeed.
Why do you got to lie to yourself like that?
Next up from Scott Yu, what do you want out of the future for the Spartan game day experience for the following? 1, what renovations to Spartan Stadium? Lots of schools are seeing $500 to $800 million in renovations. Penn State did just, or they're in the process of.
Northwestern is spending.
Northwestern had a dude just rebuild them a stadium. That is separate. There's no dudes coming to MSU to rebuild them stadiums. What do you got, Jonesy? What would make your heart skip a beat in terms of the Spartan Stadium experience?
I mean, I genuinely don't care that much. Like, I mean, I guess if you brought seat backs to everyone, but again, I'm pro, you got a problem sitting on the bench, then stand up. I think it would be nice if the sides of the stadium matched. That would be cool. I candidly don't particularly care for the brick that they did on. Like, I think there are cooler things they could have done. They could have leaned into the Greek, stuff a little bit more. But
you want to see some columns out there? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, it's fine. It's very of an era. I guess it does sort of match the remainder of that part of campus, which is nice. So, I mean, I guess for me, yeah, at minimum, I would like the facade to kind of wrap around.
It is interesting. The facade on the North Side Edition is different from the facade on the South Side Edition. It's obvious which side Magic Johnson wrote a big check for in Flozell Adams, and which side no one wrote a big check for.
You mean to say where actually the largest checks come from, which is the student population, lest we forget why we're all here. But yeah, they obviously didn't care about the student section coming in from that side. But yeah, I'm just even talking East and West. If East and West matched, I think that would go a long, long way. But I don't care about that. Like you were making jokes earlier about the subway tile. I just don't I don't care about the concrete. I'm fine with the concrete. I like the concrete.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you on the east side of the stadium getting a tower because we're past due.
I don't even care about the tower though. Like just brick would be good.
Just brick it around.
Like just an aesthetic match would be good.
The other thing that I would like is on the top. For some reason, I'm hearing that if there's going to be additions to the top, to the north or south additions, like raise them up, it sounds like they're looking more on the south side, which I don't understand because that side of the stadium is raised higher. And that's where the massive scoreboard is. But on the north side, you could raise that up a little bit and then put like a beer garden type thing, or like a social area, or like a premium, like non-seating but like premium gathering. Think of it like going back to Comerica Park, like what used to be the Pepsi porch. I think it's like the Budweiser you brouhaha now or something like that. Bullpen, yeah. I would like something like that. And if it has to be premium seating, because of course it does, fine. But I think that would be nice to have something that can look down on the field that isn't one of the premium suites that people don't really get access to, but is sort of like a general area for congregation.
And you could look down on people who can't afford to be there also. So that's the other advantage.
There's always that. The last time that the social media manager and I went to the Indiana game in Bloomington, our seats came with access to like this premium suite area that they had just built onto the south side of the stadium that like let you go over there and like grab some food and like just kind of hang out and then go back to your seats. And that was kind of nice. I kind of like that.
Yeah. Number 2 from Scott Yu, tailgating on campus. Arguing that we continue to lose places to tailgate and that he wants Munn Field back. Where are you on what would you want from future Spartan game day experiences as it relates to tailgating?
I think the consensus on this is just more porta potties available. Just porta potty availability would improve tailgating substantially. I get the Munn Field thing. I hear you on that. Although I will point out, people that were there for Munn Field tailgating will know that it was not always available even when it was open. Like if it had rained that week or something like that, they would close it down. It was unreliable. You didn't know when you were going to get it and when you weren't going to get it. So
much like, say, our baseball and softball stadiums.
Yeah, much like that. Much like that. I understand, though, wanting Munn Field back. I get it. And it does seem like that got taken away a long time ago now. Like the living memory of why that even happened is long, long gone. It seems like we could bring it back at this point.
Is that all tied to a certain night game?
I believe it was, yeah. Your favorite game of all time.
Yeah, but I fundamentally don't understand.
No, I think it was before that. I think it was.
No, I don't know, man.
That.
Because was that our junior year then?
I think it was another Notre Dame game that was the problem here.
Oh, okay. Anyway, that doesn't feel one doesn't feel related to the other. Time maybe that you start allowing tailgating, sure, but it doesn't feel related.
Yeah,
it's just a place.
Agreed. I agree with you. Next up, G Money. What do we need to see Friday to feel good about the season to come? For me, it's anything over a 40-point win will be enough.
I don't know, G Money. I want to remind you that I believe we played Akron and won 55-0, and we called it on this pod. We're not good. And we were like, I don't mean to be a wet blanket on this. Like, obviously, a huge win would be great, but it's how it looks.
And that came down to our inability to pick up some short yardage, third and fourth downs. And you were right. You're right with that. G Money Stu's next. It is Stu, right? It's just G Money. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Next question. I'm kind of getting my answer to this with Little Caesars, so I'll put this to you, our foodie on the podcast. G Money asks, dream food vendor at Spartan Stadium.
Well, I mean, obviously, I should do a live read, but I'm going to go with meat. Is that the place that you told me I should eat? Meat
barbecue. Your dream vendor is yourself. You want to be out there 24 hours in advance smoking meats.
I mean, that would be sick. That would be a lot of fun and super cool. But no, I honestly, look, you may call me an East Coast elite, but you've been to Philly. We eat dirty food out here. It is a
filthy
quality
dirty
cheesesteak would be Like if you could get a place that is just schlepping cheesesteak after cheesesteak, and that would be a great soaking up the alcohol situation. And that's what they do here. Just send them out.
Have I taken you to Steakhouse Philly?
We've not. We've discussed it many a times for a variety of reasons, but
but I don't want to take you there because you'll like stack it up against Philly, and I don't need all that smoke, as they say.
I honestly stop with that, because if I was in the middle of a drunken or semi-inebriated state in the third quarter, a cheesesteak would go a long way, and I don't care if it's subpar. I would grab it.
You would do it anyway.
Oh,
the other reason we don't go to Steakhouse Philly is like if you're going to be there, you might as well be at Dagwood's. So like
obviously,
why would you go to Steakhouse?
Can we make that actually my dream vendor? Just
Dagwood's all day specials
with just you got the mug. It's a glass or it's a plastic replica.
$7 Dagwood's all day specials, just slinging. All right. That's the answer. Next up from Tianan, flex your Spartan Fund levels.
Well, this is for you, Mr. NIL.
I believe I'm Spartan loyal and proud. They send you
is that part of the Boy Scout pledge?
It is like they send you a like a little paper thing that I think I'm supposed to like put in my wallet. So it's like, do not resuscitate is one thing that they look at, and then the next thing is like, oh, he's Spartan. Oh, great. We got his little card. That's wonderful.
That'll get him in the front door at Sparrow. Before it was not Sparrow.
It used to.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't. Though I'm told that's just a partnership. It's not ownership yet. It's just a partnership. Mm-hmm. It's not stopping them from putting their garish Block M's everywhere, but it's just a partnership.
Yeah.
And then for my NIL level, who knows what it's called? Because I've never been contacted about it in any way, ever. Since I've signed up.
You need to put a stop payment on that, man.
It might be time to turn it off, because like they're not trying at all. So yeah,
any acknowledgement would be nice. Like truly,
I did it to understand the experience, and I think we understand the experience at this point.
It's sort of like I've long said that, you know, a server can do a lot of things wrong as it relates to my experience at a restaurant. Not acknowledging that I'm at the table and not giving my check to me when like we're clearly done are the two things that I'm like, hey,
no, they send the check. The $50 gets taken from my account every month.
One half of that, but they've not acknowledged your existence at the table, and that is that would do it for me. Next up from Tianan, on a scale of 1 to 10, how white trash is it tailgating for a funeral?
It depends on how you're tailgating. This is incredibly dependent on what you're drinking for this tailgate.
I'm just curious, if I were to die, what do you think my expectations of you are for my funeral?
Lagavulin, probably like Offerman edition. I got to go pay.
But if you're not playing beer pong in the parking lot, I'm disappointed in you. like I want my parents to look like, I want a look of shock in their face about the level of disrespect. Like, if that's not happening at my funeral, then clearly no one has truly gotten me. So I think part of this is person dependent, Tianan. I think a little bit.
Yeah. All right. So if Tianan and I are playing beer pong at your funeral in the parking lot in advance, how white trash is that?
It's not. That's great.
Tianan, if you hear that Jonesy expired, hit me up. You and I are going to go play beer pong at his tailgate, at his funeral tailgate.
Samantha also has to play.
Okay. Next up from Tianan, when was the last time each of you went to a Hooters?
I don't know.
Lansing lost ours a couple of years ago. So
ours, you were a co-owner.
Yep.
I actually don't know that I've ever been to one.
I've been to one time on the drive back from an MSU bowl game through the South somewhere. We needed a place to eat, and it was on the roadside sign, the like coming up next, and it was like, we're going to Hooters. There was like an agreement in the car, in the SUV. We're going to Hooters.
I can see that in the same way that you do a Waffle House, like we're doing this.
We rolled into Hooters with a positive ratio of females to males at the table. Doesn't happen. Unheard of at a Hooters, I believe. I think Lansing has lost its Hooters, but it might be gaining a Twin Peaks, is my understanding. Because I think, is it Smoky Bones that's up at Eastwood or something like that? That is like private equity is getting involved in all these different things and turning them into other stuff. I think
Eastwood there's a Smoky Bones up there. Yeah, there was anyway.
I think that Smoky Bones might be turning into a Twin Peaks potentially. I don't know. It's been a while since I've read up on Rachel Greco's updates in the Lansing State Journal.
Who is a great follow if you're looking for updates on all things restaurants in the.
Although sometimes she takes quotes from certain people and then doesn't publish them. So there is that to be said.
And hasn't written anything about Mama's Mercantile and Eatery.
So next up from The Search Season 2. Good to hear from you, bud. Cheers.
Cheers.
What is your first play from scrimmage guess? Mine is a blown up play action where Childs then throws a ball at double covered Marsh for an interception. Stop it. Ali,
I like how he also hated on Marsh in this. That like,
I mean, he can't control a bad throw or double coverage, but I know that in my 30 seconds to myself, I talked about injuries, and that was bad juju. This is worse somehow, I've decided.
Much worse.
And obviously, it's not going to be play action. It's going to be some kind of run-off tackle or something like that.
Yes, it will absolutely be a run, and let's call it wide zone for 3 yards.
Yep.
It won't be a Kenneth Walker.
No, we're not busting one at Northwestern for a touchdown. Next up from The Search Season 2, what is this about Harper's charging $40 for cover? So I haven't heard this story, but I can answer from my experience. Do you know this story?
I've only seen a lot going on online about Harper's and how trash it is. I'm guessing it's Welcome Week naivete that they're capitalizing on.
So there are nights where we have walked up to go to Harper's and they've been like $20 cover. And we've been like the Grandpa Simpson walking in and like just turning right back around situation. I almost don't blame them though, because the line at Harper's, if you are an alum and you haven't been back to campus in like 5 years, or you've not been downtown on a Friday or Saturday night, I can't begin to tell you how long the line is at Harper's. It starts at like 9 o'clock and it goes past the 7-Eleven almost into the street. It's crazy. Think of the lines that you used to see at Rick's, but like that 1.5, and that's what Harper's is like these days.
If you're not brunching there, you're not getting in.
Correct. So on one hand, Harper's, boo to you. I'm not licking the boot for Harper's of all places for a $40 cover. But on the other hand, they can do it and people will pay it.
I mean, we spent some time there recently.
Yeah. I've done a harp or two. I've beaten you at beer pong multiple times in a row at Harper's. Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of support. I just want to say that. But
wow, I went immediately to blaming your teammate. What a guy. Okay, great.
But I just don't. Other than it's the size of it, you know, I don't get it at all. Like, I don't understand.
Couldn't be me.
Their beers are terrible.
Not my favorite. Yeah, the beers are terrible. They really missed the boat on like they were there first for the whole brew pub thing. They missed that. Like they served beer, but truly no one paid any attention to it. And now that has crested and it's on the decline and it's over.
Yeah.
I will give Harper some credit. They tried to do like a beer garden type thing in the parking lot next to the 7-Eleven because that's apparently theirs. And East Lansing City Council decided that sounds too cool for East Lansing. Next up, and finally from The Search Season 2, who is the number one running back after game one? This is a good question. Jonesy, make the call.
I think it's probably going to be Brandon Tullis.
Okay. All right. Let's find out. Next up from Tigers fan 63, if Saban had never left and stayed at MSU through 2023, we would have how many playoff appearances and how many natties? How many did he get at Bama?
I mean, did he not go to the play? Did he ever not go to the playoffs? I'm sure he did not go.
He beat us in a couple of years that he didn't go to the playoff.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He got 6 national championships at Alabama. 6.
So
Jesus. I would say at least 3 national championships.
And the thing is if you got something rolling in college football,
especially before it perpetuated itself
in a different way. So the idea that he would have at least replicated that 6 number is not crazy coming from the 90s into.
Because going back, people that knew Munfield tailgating will also recall how down Alabama was when he showed up there.
Yeah.
It seems crazy now. If you're younger than 28, you can't even imagine an Alabama that they might be going back to right now, frankly. That is not just in the conversation like the team every year. That's not how it worked for a very long period of time after Bear Bryant.
And I think, because I think we're of an age that didn't appreciate that Alabama was a historical powerhouse. It was like,
I'll admit, when he took that job after leaving Miami, whatever that situation was, I was like, it was one of those.
Egg?
Alabama does a man egg. But he turned that thing around fast, and that's history. And I think he could have done something like that here. Maybe not to the same extent, because the SEC is just different at the SEC.
It just matters
as
more.
We all know.
Next up, Tigers fan 63. Indiana just got $50 million over 20 years for field naming rights. What do you expect Jay Batt to get? And if you could pick the sponsor, who is it? We should have talked about this off Grand River, because this is trending. It's going to be a thing.
I mean, I think we know who the naming rights are probably going to go to.
MSUFCU.
I mean, they already have the naming rights for the what used to be the Huntington Club, but it's going to be, what's his name?
UWM.
No, it's going to be
Mortgage,
Azure or whatever it's called.
Oh,
the Greg Williams company.
What's the who's the guy who bought SD4L?
Oh, you think this is going to be a Shift Digital Stadium?
Yeah, I was going to say, what graphic design company does he own?
And then halfway through the year, they have to tarp over Shift Digital because he revoked the
they just stencil money on the double-decker McDonald's onto the field.
Yeah. I have a feeling that's a road they're not going down again. But the smart money has got to be on Azure or whatever it's called.
It could be Rocket
Williams.
It could be like one of these billionaires is going to buy it.
Is it going to bother you when it happens? Because they're trying to raise money to put a whole wing on the stadium, so they're going to do it. Is it going to bother you when it happens?
No, in the same way that I don't think any of us need to call it X. Like, it can still be Twitter. It is still Spartan Stadium. And so the only thing that's going to change is that one of those jabronis from the Big Ten Network or ESPN or whomever shows up. They're going to, on the TV broadcast, going to be like, Spartan Stadium on UWM Field or the UWM Mark D'Antonio Field, like whatever. Who cares?
Yeah. Of all the things to be precious about at this point, and this isn't one of them for me.
And let's not forget that it's not meaningfully different than the Breslin Center.
Right.
Or the Wharton Center. Like, it's just a different version of a rich person putting their name on it. So, I think...
Although I think in both those cases, those were those were servants at the university that put years in, and then retired, and
sure, Wharton is different, yeah. But
and Breslin is the same.
Oh, is it? All right. I just assumed it was a rich dude.
Nah. I think the Breslin family is doing fine, and I think, yeah. But my understanding was Jack worked for the university for a long period of time.
My mistake. You can pick something else on the campus that is named after a rich person, though.
Sure. Yes.
So, and at some point in time, well, I mean, look, it's your Michigan State Spartans presented by Rocket Mortgage. Like,
yeah,
no one says that.
I tell you though, $50 million over 20, that doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, that's because you aren't a fork. I mean,
I would so much rather take 25 million over 10 if it's got to be that to start.
Look at you rehearsing for Shark Tank, motherfucker.
Like, tying it up for 20 years? I don't know about that. Next from Beth Amaro, I think.
I was just say that's like an ACC move. That's some rookie. That's some rookie. You're poor shit.
Yeah, that's some newfound money. Next up from Beth Amaro, Hawaii's place kicker learned his craft watching YouTube videos. If you could master any skill via YouTube, what would it be?
Ooh. What do you got for this?
I tried to master podcast editing and production, and God knows that didn't work. So, maybe that. If only I could have.
I think I probably would take like general contracting. Like, if I could do more repairs to my home without having to like hold the YouTube video while I'm up on a ladder, that would be ideal. Do some rewiring on my own, that kind of a thing. Like, I've got a wire that takes the electrical out to my garage that's just hanging out in the yard.
You're just hanging.
Yeah.
Just hanging.
Not great.
Next up from Beth, BTW, Mama's Merc was simply amazing. Highly recommend to the rest of our loyal listeners.
They're not that loyal.
Aww.
But next up, Jason Fry. And thank you, Beth. We will pass the compliment along. Jason Fry asks, now that Little Caesars is in Spartan Stadium, this increases the efficiency of the supply chain from the urinal troughs pipes directly to the ingredient supplies of Little Caesars.
Oh, not move on.
Jason, do you think that MSU and MSU Senior made this their senior project idea while attaining their supply chain management degree? Jason, I think this is the most you have ever offended the podcast.
I get the joke. I see what you're doing here. I think you found the wrong audience, though. And I would have thought of all people, Jason Fry.
Yes.
You would have known. You would have clocked this.
Like, what are you? So, are you a Domino's stan?
Yeah, Domino's truther Jason Fry over here.
Or are you really into Papa John and his election thoughts? Like, what's going on here, Jason?
This language on board calls, I think, allegedly. Maybe he's like a local guy. He does the Papa John's in Lansing, or are
you a Dave Portnoy disciple and only
he's a Pizza House guy? Maybe. This is fine. I'm going to forgive you, Jason Fry.
I won't.
This took a chunk. I'm going to be honest with you, Jason.
Name me $6 you can spend anywhere else and get as much caloric value as you can with a Little Caesars pizza. I'll wait.
Yeah. Be a better front butt in the future, Jason Fry.
Next up, Munfield Keg. Do you think these cosmetic updates to Spartan Stadium are more a result of increased revenue / TV money, etc., or JBAT's focus on improving the game day experience, adding ready for Friday?
So when Munfield Keg is referencing game cosmetic updates, I think he's referencing what they're calling the Greek key at the top of the stadium on the east side.
I think they also slapped some paint on some things.
Yeah, I haven't seen all of these, but I will say I think they're a product of I was up there for the spring game, there was a little rust coming through there on Spartan Stadium. I think they needed paint anyway, and this is just what they decided to do with it as a result. So
is the deep water still there, or the deep end?
That didn't even last after that didn't even last after that whole situation went down. It's definitely not there anymore. So I don't think they intend for this to improve the game day experience. I think this was maintenance that needed to be done anyway, and this is how they decided to do it.
Great.
Which is fine for me.
Mamopolev asks Corey Davis or Greg Jennings, which former Western Michigan player would single-handedly give the Broncos the win Friday night if they were in the game? What do you got?
I'm trying to think of like the most noteworthy former. Who was the Lion? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose.
How tall was Greg Jennings?
Yeah, it was that Greg Jennings.
Well, no, I'm just looking at his height because Corey Davis is like 6'3", 6'4", something like that. Greg Jennings was only 6 foot. I might go Corey Davis. Like, that's just a tough matchup for any cornerback.
Yeah, let's go Corey. Corey's great.
But I mean, Greg Jennings, obviously, excellent wide receiver.
True or false from Mamopolev? WMU colors with a U were chosen to follow the pattern of the brown-eyed Susan flowers.
Well, I would just say they betray how pretty a brown-eyed Susan is. Next up,
I don't like these weeks because I don't like to take shots at our MAC friends. If we were playing Central this week, we would tee off. But I love Western and I love Eastern and Northern and all of them. So I know that you had to do something with that, Jonesy, but I just want to make it clear that we are supporters of the action on this podcast.
Yeah, I think you also just missed what I did, but that's fine. You
were making a Susan's her real name, right?
Yes.
Yep. I got you.
Also, she came in with succinct questions. I feel like I had to do a reward of some kind.
Yeah, she deserves it.
But I actually I don't know if they were chosen based upon that. I do really like Western's colors, though. I mean, they're unique, and they speak to sort of an old school aesthetic.
Yeah.
I think they're great.
I think it's great that the state of Michigan has pretty unique color combinations between Eastern and us having the same, and then Western with theirs.
And Central obviously, and Ferris have nearly the same.
Yeah, but those are more conventional, and then U of M is like, oh my god, shut up with maize. Shut up with maize.
Next up is Thomas Zambiasi asking, man, were my questions last week that bad, or that they had to be skipped? And we don't know what happened, Thomas.
Did we skip Thomas's questions last week?
Might have. What he asked last week was, I just realized I'm going to be out of the Midwest and way up in some mountains for the opening weekend of football. What do I do?
I don't remember that. Oh, that's rough. Sorry, bud. Bud.
And what you do is, well, you've made a commitment, Thomas, and it's not where it should be. So if you have access to cable or satellite or 4G, even 4G, stream it.
You've got to have internet, right? Like, just stream the games. You're going to be streaming FS1 anyway, so stream it, bud.
Get a Starlink. I don't know.
Well, maybe not.
It's better than a Tesla, I guess.
Yeah.
Can you lease one? Buy one? Borrow one?
Pirate radio.
Next up from Thomas Zambiasi, forgot to ask a while ago, but what's more embarrassing power? Is there a more embarrassing power program to cancel a non-conference series with than UVA? This is, of course, in reference to the SIG, Kirk Cignetti canceling, I believe, all of his power conference opponents.
Yeah, the SIG, we referenced earlier that they've got a pretty beneficial schedule. He's learned that a beneficial schedule goes a long way, and he's making that happen for himself.
And credit to SIG, because I believe the SEC now has introduced legislation that they are going to go to 9 conference games.
Yep, that happened
with
this
a
week.
Power 4 opponent requirement. So SIG will just be a piece of shit when that happens. And I do think there is a more embarrassing power program to cancel against. Well, I guess, would you consider Syracuse to be a power program? No, I mean, they're in the Big East,
football,
right?
For football, if we're going to say UVA is, then sure.
I mean, UVA is at least in the ACC, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean,
but Syracuse gets a nice. They have a inside stadium, right?
Maybe. I think also canceling against Big 12 power Texas State would be pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, they're in the dome, the JMA Wireless Dome. Speaking of taking money, capacity
JMA,
49K. JMA.
What was the? What was the cell phone provider?
Have to ask.
What was the cell phone provider that was? Was it Alltel? Was that when we went to school?
Alltel / what was the one that you could two-way with?
Sprint.
No, they merged with Sprint.
It was Sprint, because you had the giant yellow phones that.
No, but it was someone else before it was Sprint.
All right, who cares?
It doesn't matter. Anyway, JMA Wireless Dome. Good place to watch a game. I'd like to go over there at some point.
Sounds like
Syracuse.
Alltel.
Alltel was it. Yes, thank you.
Anyway, what's your favorite opening game tradition / superstition, Kevin Greck?
I don't know that I have one. Do you have one?
No, and I get real weird. I get weird about thinking about whether what I'm doing is superstitious, because the second I do something superstitious, it becomes sort of a jinx. So I try my best to just live neutral for game day.
My favorite opening game tradition is, as we move to Friday nights, and we have done reliably over the last decade, working all the way to 5 o'clock for my employer, whom I cherish.
To deliver value to shareholders or private equity, depending on what your situation is.
Yep. And then at 5:02, just to give a buffer, just to make sure that the shareholders have gotten all of their value.
Give some money back.
That's when I close my lid, and then I, in a way that represents the company, go downstairs and begin my tailgating processes.
Should we just put a Zoom on the calendar for each other for Fridays? I honestly think that'd be a lot of fun, actually.
3-hour blocks.
Like, let's just virtually tailgate. That'd be a lot of fun. I'll go to Home Depot before
we can open it up. We both have Zoom licenses. We can open it up. The whole Can't Read, Can't Write audience can join. We can broadcast it out. It can get recorded by my Zoom as it happens automatically and transcribed.
The AI companion. Yeah, they don't ask for that anymore. It just seems
they don't. It just turns on. Do you at work? I have no fewer than 3 AI companions on all of my Zoom calls. Are you in that same?
Not yet. Okay. No, I can appreciate why more pop in on yours based upon what you do. But there's no one's going to care. But I have a fellow license, and I should be utilizing it more often.
Fellow? I've never even heard of fellow. I don't even know what that is.
It's pretty nice.
Recording, transcription, summarization, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then you pop it into a project based upon what the recording is about, as it fits into projects you're working on.
Okay. All right. Finally, from the Upper Deck Jerk Guy, can J-Bat exceed what we say from Mark Hollis?
I think it's say about probably is what. And yes, there's a clear bar that J-Bat can just not touch, maybe sort of like a third rail.
As long as J-Bat isn't running away from anything, as long as J-Bat is running towards something, I'll be pleased with J-Bat.
I do think
as it
there's a
relates to
question
Mark
about
Hollis.
how do you evaluate success about it from an AD, because
Mhm.
I don't. I think we had complaints about Alan Haller, maybe not. I think we talked about how it felt like he was very reactionary. Didn't seem to have a progressive plan as it relates to the new landscape. But I do think we also felt like, generally speaking, he was a pretty good AD. Had no idea that the money dried up on him.
The conclusion that I came to is he would have been the perfect AD for 1992. But it's not 1992 anymore. So,
but I guess I didn't realize how bad it was with him. And so
yeah,
I don't know how you evaluate J-Bat and whether he's being successful. And frankly, in some ways, Alan Haller's given him a pretty decent spot to come into.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree with you. He's inheriting now. J-Bat will probably be responsible for hiring Izzo's replacement. Maybe it's not impossible that Izzo outlasts another AD.
Honestly, what if you? Depending on the odds you gave me, I might take that bet.
Mm-hmm.
Like even money, I'm like kind of interested.
Now that the dust is 100% settled on Mark Hollis, and we can talk about obviously why he left the spot. What is your what's other than retaining D'Antonio? What do you think? And inventing playing sports in bigger arenas than they're supposed to be in.
Yeah, no. I would. Your phrasing of it sort of betrays your point, which I would agree. I don't think it takes a particularly adept. I mean, the fact that Saban got away is a war crime. Like that shouldn't have happened.
That wasn't Mark Hollis.
No. But my point is that it takes a real fucking moron to lose D'Antonio in that particular moment.
Okay, gotcha.
So
you're saying we need to give Hollis the credit that he's due for retaining.
No, I think my point is that like that's table stakes. Like you'd have to be an idiot. You'd have to be an idiot to lose him. Yeah. So then you're left with, okay, does he get credit for the Champions Classic? Okay, I'll give him credit for that. Do I think MSU is in a marquee game every year without the Champions Classic? Yeah, I do.
Probably still, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, like, are the aircraft carrier like? I don't know. It seems like a whole bunch of other sports got neglected, and you're going to have a hard time convincing me that neglecting those sports contributed to success in other sports. Like, I don't think the football team got better because Mark Hollis just didn't do 90% of his job.
Yeah.
And also, by the by, didn't take care of the institution he was charged with. Like, so, no, I think Mark Hollis would have been a better Big Ten commissioner than an athletic director.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true.
Like in some ways, I'd say Mark Hollis would be primed for that job right now. Aggressive, hungry, like looking to capitalize on eyeballs.
Again, in maybe 1992, maybe 2002, he probably would have been up for that job too.
Yeah. So I don't know. Can J-Bat exceed that? Yeah, J-Bat can do the right thing. He can make sure that we win at all levels. I think J-Bat knows what any athletic director should know, which is that football needs to succeed in order to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, and by succeed, I think just mean to be meaningfully competitive. Like, I don't think anyone around here is demanding to be Alabama. I mean, would we like it? Sure. But I don't think that's our expectation for our football program.
Yeah. I think as much as fan bases complain, I do think we relatively have a reasonable expectation of what success looks like.
Would I like to compete for a natty? Yes. Do I need to win 9 natties or 6 natties in 8 years or 12 years? No, I don't need that. Like, but would I like to see one in my lifetime? Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, would I like to see one happen before I leave this mortal coil? Yes. Yes, I would. I'm with you. And from what I'm hearing at J-Bat, he's prioritizing. I don't know if we're going to get to talk about that at some point. There are certain Twitter questioners that are going to hate what I'm saying right now. We don't have everything confirmed, but like, he's doing a good job of identifying the things that need to be prioritized, is what I'm being told.
Question. Does that involve identifying where floodplains are and maybe whether said fields should exist or not?
My understanding is those fields are going to continue to exist, and my apologies if that really bothers you. There's a lot of infrastructure over there right now.
Yeah, and you know what you could eliminate? You could put fucking bees back on this earth by making those flower gardens and eliminate whole salaries.
It does seem like Munfield probably should have been where all that stuff was built. Like when they built the baseball stadium, they probably should have just done it on Munfield. And then Munfield should have been the intramural, and then and then like College Field should have been the intramural, and Munfield should have been. Yeah, I think if they could go back and do it again, that's probably how they would have drawn it up.
Guess what? They could.
I don't know. The baseball and the softball stadiums are there now, and it seems to be working.
No. Choose your words. It does not seem to be working. Like, that's my point.
There might be more money put into those buildings.
Oh my God.
In that general area. I'm hearing maybe Jennison gets a facelift in the near future. Anyway, Upper Deck Shirt Guy, great question that got us talking. Next up from the Upper Deck Shirt Guy, do you think you could raise enough money for naming rights with a W so it can be Can't Read, Can't Write Spartan Stadium?
Honestly, if someone bought us a brick with our dumb podcast on it, like, I think we'd be so flattered.
Yes, that would be it.
So no.
Can you imagine $2 million a year, Can't Read, Can't Write Stadium?
And if we could raise that sum of money, to be very clear, I do think we would say, can we direct this to a more meaningful cause?
A more meaningful. Can
my wallet.
Can it be Haven House presented by Can't Read, Can't Write, or something like that?
Yeah, the Lansing Area Food Bank, like,
yes,
truly.
Yes, the Humane Society is presented by Can't Read, Can't Write. Dogs and cats cannot read and cannot write, so perfect. Finally, from the Upper Deck Jerk Guy, bringing us back down to end the podcast. How many turnovers will we see Friday by the Spartans?
Greg, I'm going to set the over-under at 1.5. And I do think some of this is first game jitters. So, like, I don't think it's the end of the world if you hit the over. I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think it says anything if you hit the under. But I'm going to set it at 1.5. Are you taking the over or are you taking the under?
I'm going to take the over. I'm going to say 2. I'm going to say 2. We're going to see an interception, and then we're going to see a special teams blunder.
Ooh. That makes me concerned that it's going to be like a blocked field goal.
Special teams blunder.
Okay. Well, Kevin, we have just a few days until kickoff, and
this is it.
I am giddy. So until then, go green.
Go white.